currently we have created a data source.
Okay.
This is for the 7.0 loading,
Yes.
and this one we have created data source, and we have created info objects and created attributes of the info object,
Okay.
and we need to load the data to the master data attribute
Mm-hmm.
to this file. So there is the task now, and for that we have to create the data flow.
Okay.
Let me send you one file. 7.0, when
Mm-hmm.
you load, you need transformations and DTP. So
Okay.
this file has transformations and DTP.
Okay. Coffee na
So I just sent one file to you.
Okay.
So here we have a data source, and then we have already created an info provider
Mm-hmm.
material. We have created attributes in the material info object, and we activated it.
Okay.
So in order to load the data, you have to first right click on the info object and create a transformation.
Okay.
In 7.0, you have to create a transformation and DTP in order to load the data between source and the destination. So
Okay.
here you have transformation. This is the target we have. We have info object as a target now at present.
Mm-hmm.
And available targets are info cube, data store object, info source, and open up destination. So
Mm-hmm.
these all can be the targets. So the source can be available sources are data source, info source, data store object, info cube, info object, and info set. These can be the source for the data.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are loading the data from the source data source. We have created a data source and we are going to load data from that. So we have our this is our source system. If you want to navigate to source system, you can click this one or F4,
Okay.
and you will have all the source systems available. Then you can find your source system in case you have forgot your name. of the source system.
Mm-hmm.
And then here we have data source. So after creating the giving the source system, you can either navigate or give the name. Here you can find your source system data source here. We have created a data source. So is this our data source?
Uh, Material, I think DS underscore material, right?
Yeah, this one is let's see. First of all, you have to click this, and
Mm-hmm.
then the system automatically generated the proposals. In this case, because we have the info object in the source and the target which are matching, so system can understand that and it automatically proposes the proposals. In case of fields, if we have ECC fields and then info objects in BI in the target, then we have to map the rules
Mm-hmm.
manually.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see the system automatically has the proposed rules, and in case the source is the data source from the ACC, and we have created a generic data source, then you don't have the mappings here. Then you have to map it like this. You have to map the rules directly. Just you have to drag and drop it.
Mm-hmm.
So here the rules are mapped and it is the same as this. So automatic rules generation happened and activate it. So you can see it is automatically, activated. And now I'm going to explain what transformations are.
Mm-hmm.
For now, we are going to load the data first, and then I will explain in detail what transformations are and DTP is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So here we have created transformation now, and this is how it looks. And you have data source. It has connected data source, and now you have to create DTP. DTP, right click on the DTP and create DTP. And because we already have created transformation, the source is taken by the system. We first created transformation by giving the source, so now we don't have to give the source for DTP. It's already taken.
Mm-hmm.
So click continue. However, if you want to change the source, you can do that.
Okay.
So here you have this, you have to activate it. This is data transfer process. This is used for the loading of the data. So first of all, just like info package, there are a lot of differences between info package and DTP, but it works for loading the data within from source to the target within BW system.
Mm-hmm.
So here this is called request monitor, DTP monitor. Here you will have the step-by-step process what is happening here. You can see the process is running and now the process is completed. So you can see when you expand you will see what's happening here. Prepare for extraction, read data and no data available. I was doing some, quickly, like, we haven't created a info package,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to load the data from the source, first of all to the PSA, and then from data source, from the PSA, you have to load the data to the material attributes. So that is the process. So in that, for that, you have to go to the data sources and select the data source and right click on the data source and create info package. First of all, there is no data. We haven't loaded the data from the source.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So here you don't have to check like this because this is the only one.
Okay.
If more than one material attributes and text, then you have to check it. So here, why in 7.0, while creating a data source, we have an option whether it is attributes or text. It will ask like at that time itself. So
Mm-hmm.
we gave the attributes, so only attributes are displayed here. So it is clear and it is well thought through now.
Okay.
We are creating a info package. I guess you know info package. Info package has 5 tabs. One is data selection, extraction, processing, update, and schedule. So data selection is used to select the data.
Yeah.
If we do the selections, we get it there. And extraction, we have to give the file details here,
Okay.
the extraction details here.
Yes.
Here you can see we are going to select material attributes .csv. We have to check whether it is open or not. It's not open, so let's give one header row to be submitted, and we have to give the either it is ASCII or CSV. In this is the difference in 7.0. So once you give this, the data is the same, just like comma and all is the same.
Mm-hmm.
The layout is different.
Okay.
Here there is only check mark only to PSA. You can see this. No?
Yeah.
In 3.5 version, all this will be activated. But
Okay.
in 7.0 version,
Mm-hmm.
there is no other option but to load it to the PSA.
Okay.
So we have given that. Here you can see data is requested. 30 records are loaded. You can see the details.
Mm-hmm.
Data is loaded via iDocs with the help of iDocs. iDocs are created in, between to transfer the data from ECC or source systems to, to the BW system. And there are programs, function modules and programs which will help load the data from the source.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the data here.
Yeah.
Here we got 30 records, and this we want to load it to the data target now.
Okay.
So for that you have to click on the, I mean, we have already created the DTP. Double
Mm-hmm.
click on the DTP, and now as it is activated, you have to now execute this. Now you can see there is a 30 record, and all the 30 records are transferred. Extraction, filter, updating, transformation and updating. So here you can see what happened. First of all, extraction is done, and then the filter is applied. If there are any filters in the DTP, then according to those filters, it will filter the data, delete the unwanted data, and get the data according to our selections. And then we have transformation is activated. If we have any routines or formulas in the transformation, all those will be applied here in this step, and then it will be updated. Data will be updated. So after that, it will check for any more data. If there is no more data, it will be and focus will be. So here you have this data target administration. Directly from here, you can access this. So here we have loaded two requests. For one request there is no data, and another request we have 30 data, transferred 30 data and added 30.
Mm-hmm.
So this one we will delete so we don't get confused. This is called info provider administration.
Mm-hmm.
It means here you will see the request loaded. You have three tabs here. One for the request. Here we are going to discuss this in detail.
Okay.
What was, I mean, this is important.
Okay.
And one for the content, and one for the reconstruction. This is called reconstruction tab. In case we have deleted mistake by mistake, then we can get the data back with the help of reconstruct. So here you have to click and click on the contents. And execute it. You can see that we got the data in the data target. This is our info object. We got the data here for the material. Now I will give you the introduction to the BEX so
Mm-hmm.
that if you get familiar with that, we will discuss it later in detail.
Okay.
Because I'm going to discuss BEX at
Mm-hmm.
the end of this course.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, it is better to introduce
Okay.
BEX. So I guess I introduced you to the BEX, no? BEX before, right?
No.
No?
No.
And navigating to the BEX reports, etc.
No,
Okay.
we
So
just we directly navigated to the RSA one and old RSA old. So that's it. That's all I
yeah.
know so far. Yeah.
So for the BEX reporting,
Mm-hmm.
we have direct transformation transaction from the BI, that is RRMS,
Okay.
and for other like either this is the process to go to the BEX query designer,
Yeah.
or there is another process go to program. What is this called? Start programs.
Yeah, like you mentioned about this RRMX command before.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I guess, yeah, I haven't discussed about it.
Yeah.
these are the two ways we can go to best. Let's see. This is called Bex Analyzer. It is nothing but the Excel with the add-in,
Mm-hmm.
additional add-in Bex Analyzer here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I discussed about this. And I haven't got this now here. Check it. So here you have to go to the programs
Mm-hmm.
and Explorer, Business Explorer, and then you go to the Query
Yeah,
Designer.
yeah, we went there before.
Mm.
But I tried it, but I was unable to connect that time. I don't know why. So I did not do any more after that.
Yeah, I mean, in SAP, SAP software is huge and it takes a lot of resources to
Mm-hmm.
maintain. So
Okay.
sometimes you will have a lot of errors, or sometimes you won't get it.
Oh, okay.
But you can try it later
Okay.
because this is common even in the real time. You will have some one or another problem,
Yeah.
and it has to be rectified, and things will go slowly in SAP.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Especially because I mean because of the errors and all that system maintenance
Yes.
like that. You have to have I mean some patience in this.
Yeah. That's what I felt. Yeah.
So here this is the I mean there is query designer
Mm-hmm.
mode, and here you have create new query and open existing query.
Okay.
So these are the two different icons. So
Okay.
here in text query designer we have different partitions.
Mm-hmm.
One is info providers where we will see the info provider navigation, and then we have this query filter which has characteristic restriction default values and columns, rows and columns,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have properties. So we will see what they are now.
Okay.
Click the create new query,
Yes.
and then click on info areas. So here we have this. What is that?
Um, Info here for training.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Material.
we have material. This icon is for the info cube, but this is not an info cube. This is an info object.
Okay.
I mean, but the functionality features will be the same.
Mm-hmm.
But here it's showing different icon. There is a small error.
Mm-hmm.
Here you can see there is info object, and we have attributes for the info object. three attributes. So you have to click on the rows and columns. Here all the characteristics will be dropped in rows and all the key figures should be dropped in columns.
Yeah.
So characteristics you have to drop in rows and the key figures you have to drop in columns. And here for free characteristics are for drill down purposes. You can drop some free characteristics here and then you can use that in report for the drill down purposes. So you have to give the drag and drop and drag and drop this. These are attributes. Now we have only these characteristics, so we will see other words later. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the filter. In filter there is the default value, and if you right click here and do the restriction for the filters. For example, if you want only 15 values here,
Mm-hmm.
there are 30 records, right? We want only 1 to 15.
Mm-hmm.
So we have different options in filters like favorite, the single values, value ranges, and variables. Either we can create variables and use them, or we can create value ranges. There's a restriction from and to, by giving from and to value.
Mm-hmm.
Here you can click here or click F1, and here we can take one to here, click this, and apply. Take single values and apply 15.
Okay.
So between 1 to 15, you can transfer this and selection and click OK. So here we have restricted to the 1 to 15,
Mm-hmm.
and the same restriction here as we have done it. It means that in the query result, it will show the default by default, and then we can
Okay.
change in the query result. And if we do this same restriction here
Mm-hmm.
in characteristic restriction, it will be for permanent. For example, it will the result will be filtered for in the result, and you cannot change it in the result.
Mm-hmm.
So user can change it in the result. Only we can change it from here
Mm-hmm.
instantly. So here if we take give it as a default value, by default it will only show 15 values, and the user if the user want to drill down to other values, then he can change the filter values there. So
Mm-hmm.
there is the difference between default values and characteristic restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have any key figures, this is just a master data, so we are going to save it
Okay.
here. While saving, you can see that we have description and technical name. Description we are giving it as, and technical name should be the name of the info provider. What is our info provider's name? That material underscore
Uh,
ZM underscore NM.
okay.
So according to this info name, we have to the naming convention of the query depends on this name.
Mm-hmm.
So you have this name, and then what you first of all info provider name underscore tune 00. Like this, the naming convention goes. Info provider name underscore the name of the number of the query.
Mm-hmm.
This is the naming convention for the query.
Okay.
So save this like that, and this is the save all,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the normal save. And generally, you have to execute this
Mm-hmm.
here, but they don't fix the portal.
Okay.
And only in real time you will find this option.
Okay.
here generally you execute like that, and you can execute from here and publish to the role or to the web broadcaster. But these options won't be able to work here.
Okay.
Now we saved it. We can exit, and we have to go to the web analyzer.
Mm-hmm.
And click on the open. I don't know why all these are deactivated. Here we have these tools.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
this is for the additional feature for the web query designer.
Okay.
And now it will be okay. I was not able to see because this one,
Mm-hmm.
this navigation here, because the screen has become
Oh, okay.
here. This is the, additional tool for the navigation bar,
Mm-hmm.
menu bar for text, which is added to the Excel.
Okay.
And this is normal Excel. Here menu bar is added to the text options are added,
Mm-hmm.
and we can see crystal report, query reports are added for the view integration.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the difference between normal Excel and the text Excel. Now, as we have created a query, we can open the query here from the open query.
Mm-hmm.
Here this is our query, master data attribute for material,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to double click on this. So here you can see initially we only got 15 records, and this is called result filtering.
Okay.
So you can click on the I mean characteristic and go to properties. You can see all the properties here for displaying key and text, and for all the other options, like either you want to display the attributes or not. All these options are available here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is first properties, and then you click on this, and you have to I mean you can either remove the filter or you can either select the filter values.
Okay.
So here you have filter values which we want to change here, and we want to change it to some value range to 25. Okay, we will do this now. When you remove the filters, you get all the records here,
Okay.
all the 30 records. So this is for the default value, right? This is what default value is. Now I'm going to show you what the characteristic restriction is. For example, you have this filter here, and you have applied this filter here rather than only here, and you can you want the filters to be applied here, and you want to restrict it. So for this purpose, you saved it. Here in analyzer, if you go through the analyzer, it will be easy to look at the result of the query. Here you can see this green tick mark here. You only have to click on this green tick mark,
Mm-hmm.
and then you will be able to find the result. Now that we have got this result,
Mm-hmm.
but we have got it in restrictions, so we won't be able to see the any values here.
Okay.
If we have the values, we can change the values here. But here you cannot change the value. You don't have any option to change the value. So there is the difference between the default values and the restriction, characteristic restriction. So default values are initial screen result, and then once you get the initial screen, you will have the values here. You can click on the info. You can click on the characteristic and change the settings. And the characteristic restrictions are filtered for the on the query level. So a user cannot change it. User would have access to this only to the report. So he could change if you give the default values, but if you give the characteristic values, user cannot change this. So he has to, ask for the request for the change.
Mm-hmm.
That is the- So today we have seen how to create the query, and we have seen how to load the data in 7.0. Tomorrow I'm going to discuss in detail about the transformations and DTPs.
Okay.
And then we will load the data for the info cube, which is info cube and then data store object on the all the data targets one after the other. I will explain in detail and we can load the data.
Okay.
So I will see you tomorrow. Today, I guess because we have completed this loading, I guess we can stop here and we can start a new topic tomorrow.
Okay.
Then
Yeah. And you said like tomorrow at 8 o'clock, right? You have some demo class tomorrow, 9
8,
8
8
p.m.
p.m. Yeah.
Okay.
In the morning, our class is the normal class.
Uh-huh.
In 8 p.m. evening, according to the Indian Standard Time,
Uh-huh.
we have demo. So if you have, if you want to join or if you have friends to join with
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
you can bring them.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay, let's see you
Yeah.
tomorrow then.
Okay, Shahid, thank you.